winds in severe gale 9 for a time, excepting Sundays. Rain or showers moderate. Time dominant. South southwest. Occasionally gale 8 for a time. Rain for a time. Good. Okay.
Hey guys, so welcome to StormRider. I'm giving you a bit of a insight into my new passion, my new obsession, which is cycling and a mixture of indoor and outdoor cycling. Here you can see I'm taking my bike off the Wahoo Kickr, which is an indoor trainer, which I attach to Zwift, which is an application where you can ride around various tracks on your bike indoors. Then I attach the back wheel onto the bike proper, and of course make sure everything is set up correctly. Make sure that brake is engaged, and then start the video. Now, the more you get into road cycling, the more you appreciate a bit of Italian flair and realize that plays a big part in designs and accessories. So next I'm going to attach my beautiful Bianchi Gloves. They're a new purchase, very happy with them. Of course, gloves when you're cycling are super important because the padding here on your hands, if you go down, if you fall, you save that padding on your hands, which otherwise wouldn't do very well if it was just bare hand, obviously. So on, there you go. Bang, love it. And of course, one of the reasons why these gloves are being mentioned is because I partly bought them because I think they would go very, very well with the green Rangeman. The purpose of this video is to talk about why I use this watch specifically when I'm riding. I've experimented with a few different G-Shocks while I've been on the bike, including the GW-9400. I also even tried this because the strap of the Gravity Master is actually really, really comfortable. It's this kind of dual layer, very soft, I believe carbon fiber. Yes, carbon fiber, but it wasn't quite, I don't know, it's not quite the right watch for the purpose. It's a bit too big, a bit too bulky, a bit too heavy. Same with the GW-1000. The Rangeman is just a really appropriate size for cycling as well. It fits snugly, it's not too big, doesn't impose on the wrist, and of course adds that extra resilience that maybe some GPS watches don't have, i.e. they can fail due to battery life on a longer ride, whereas this, it's tough solar, that will never ever happen. Here's the bike for anyone who's interested, the BMC SLR02 carbon frame. Yes, I did grow these tomatoes with my daughter. Thank you very much for asking. Taken about 6 months of learning, but we're getting there. You can see some little baby green ones too. Anyway, I digress. The technology I have on this thing is a Garmin, simple Garmin computer here, which I personally use for cadence output via a sensor on the pedals themselves. Now, of course, the main point of this video is what G-Shock I'm wearing when I'm riding this thing. Now, obviously, I've got the Garmin here. That's giving me cadence, it's giving me speed. It's got a little map if you want to use that, although I don't really use it. It has many different functions which are very helpful. Time-lapse, laps, etc. But I must say, nothing beats a good old G-Shock to go on there. So there's my, I think everyone knows it now, the unique Rangeman, which I've added a special bezel and strap to with the blackout. Now it's got the carbon fiber strap. The reason why I like that when I'm riding is because it essentially allows me to have that extra bit of cushioning and softness when you're doing a lot of vibration over rougher roads. You want that strap to be comfortable, yet of course very strong. The other thing to note about the anything to do with these computers on the bikes is that they always need to be recharged. I mean, they have a great battery life, I must say, and you just plug them into this mini USB in the back here. However, you are going to get caught out every now and again. Either you forget to charge it, you use it longer than you remembered you did in between charges, and it'll essentially go blank on you during a ride. Now that's pretty frustrating for obvious reasons. Therefore, you need something dependable. Now, anyone will tell you who cycles a lot, the vibrations of cycling can destroy watches. The amount of movement that even a relatively smooth road creates, this high vibration can really, really mess up, and not only mess up watches, but also just make them feel very uncomfortable on the wrist. This is the watch which I've found really, really suits riding because of its comfort factor, the fact that I know it's obviously not going to break, plus the battery is never going to be an issue. Why? Because it's tough solar. And you can see on here, its level is at high. So I'm very, very happy with that. Yeah, I think it also looks pretty damn good with the Bianchi Gloves as well. Road cycling is just one of those sports where you realize the more you do it, the more you need the proper purpose-built kit, outfits, these trip computers. It's really important to make sure you're well prepared. One other accessory I want to talk about for my riding is this little beauty. So this is called the Polar OH1, and it's a heart rate monitor that fits on your arm. So essentially, I went for years using a chest strap based heart rate monitor. They work great, accuracy is fantastic. However, I just always felt a little bit like of a constriction across my chest. I didn't really like having that feeling of a band around my chest, particularly when I'm working hard, breathing hard, cycling, running, swimming. So I was advised by a friend that this is a nice one to check out. And basically what it does is it clips into this little holder there. You turn it on with this button here. You'll see now there's the LEDs that will read. Essentially, you strap it to your arm and it will read the heart rate in the flesh. Now, my understanding, I'm not an expert in this, but my understanding is that yes, you get watches that have a heart rate monitor on the wrist, but because it's not a particularly fleshy or muscly part of the body, you don't get as much vascular exposure to these sensors. So what you actually do is by putting it up on your arm, either your forearm or the top of your arm, you're actually going to have a more accurate heart rate. Now, I've personally found the accuracy of this is fantastic. I've never had any dropouts. I use it a lot on both rides on the road and also on Zwift, which I'm going to talk about in another video. And yeah, I must say I've never noticed any fluctuations between my chest strap based heart rate monitor and this heart rate monitor. I highly recommend it. Made by Polar. It's not hugely expensive. As I recall, I maybe paid $50 for it. And it recharges very simply by taking it out, sitting this in a little cradle with a USB. You plug the USB in and it charges very quickly. I get easily three long rides out of this before it even tells me it needs charging. It tells you when it blinks a different color on this light when it needs a charge. I think it blinks red when you close it off. Here, if I close it here, let's see if I can get that to work. Yeah, you can see it's flashing green there. If that had flashed red at the end, it means that it needs a bit of a charge. But I've never had any issues with that. So yeah, really great little accessory, comfortable, accurate. Yes, you could argue it hasn't got the accuracy of a chest strap, but for me, it's always a balance between kind of performance of a product versus comfort factor versus price versus reliability. And for me, this comes in a nice balance between those different factors. So that will be sitting on further up my arm, on my upper arm actually, on the same arm as my GShock, and it will be displaying the heart rate up here. I can show you briefly what that looks like if you're interested. So here you have it. The heart rate monitor is on my arm here, and it is reading out onto this computer. If I flick down, there you go, it's just sat there reading live, and it's accurately projecting a kind of post-light workout heart rate for me. And now I'm going to take it out on this bike out on a ride, and it's going to help me make sure I stay in my zone 2. Zone 2 is the way that you make sure that you're not overexerting yourself for a longer term endurance building, engine building workout. So I'm going to be basically roughly staying at about 138 BPM for the time being over the next hour and a half on the bike. So here we are outside, just making sure everything's set up right. Heart rate monitor's operating, clipped in, and got my water. Hydration is key on this thing, particularly if the weather's warm. And yeah, let's go. I love the sound of a derailleur in the morning. Here we go. Let's get it on. Of course, any cyclist will tell you you can't have a bike ride without stopping off for a coffee and a cheeky slice of chocolate cake, and that's exactly what I did. So a quick debrief after that ride. I ended up getting a puncture. So you can see here, flat as a pancake, went over a road bump a little bit too hot, and this was about 15-20 kilometers into the ride, and lost pressure quite quickly. Luckily enough, I had the rescue team that was my wife and daughter to drive out and pick me up, and I was able to wait for them whilst having a nice coffee as well. So all good fun, all part of the challenge of cycling, and now I have a little nice project to do this afternoon in finding out what's wrong with the tyre and fixing it. So just to close out this video, I just want to say thanks for watching. It is a bit of a detour from my usual type of video. I just wanted to kind of cover the fact that I'm getting increasingly into cycling, both outdoors and indoors, and I am getting very passionate about Zwift, which is this application I mentioned earlier where you ride on basically a virtual world. There's many different tracks, and you interface your real bike into the virtual world via a trainer, an indoor trainer. It's fascinating to me. There's a huge social network on there. It's a very sociable thing to do, particularly with the current situation going on, and it's also getting me incredibly fit as well. So yeah, slightly new type of video. I'll probably do more of these going forward. Please let me know if cycling is of interest to you and you want to see anything specific. Also, I just want to recap on the point of the video in relation to G-Shocks, which is that bikes and bike computers have a huge amount of information on them. Very, very helpful, and I will always have my Garmin on my bike. However, you can never completely count on the fact that you're not going to run out of battery, particularly, via human error. You forget to charge the thing, or you do a longer ride than expected, and therefore you have to rely on the old, Mark 1 wristwatch, and that is where the GShock comes in for me, because it's robust, it's rugged, it's tough solar. I don't have to worry about the battery. It's comfortable, particularly with this carbon fiber strap. It looks good. It's got a compass on it if I get outrageously lost. And yeah, that is my approach to cycling right now. The Garmin computer plus a G-Shock on my wrist. I think that's a fine pairing. Anyway, I hope you like the video. Please like it if you do. I really appreciate that. And yeah, hopefully catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye.